Now guys, many of you have seen the crate opening that we did up at Classic Firearms with the SKS rifles, and went through a bunch of them, picked out one. Again, they were covered in Cosmoline. These rifles have been timed out. They've been in another country because actually Chinese imports have been banned in the US since 1993. So getting a really cool SKS is really getting to be more hard to do. And so it was great that Classic was able to get a bunch of these. And I really thank Classic Firearms for having me up and also providing this rifle for the full review. But today I'm going to show you how to clean all that Cosmoline off of your SKS rifle. Guys, if you have a firearm that's covered in Cosmoline, we're going to kind of do a little demonstration. This is specifically for an SKS. Got this at Classic Firearms. And main thing you're going to need is some mineral spirits. There are other things you can use, but I like the mineral spirits. Also some old rags, and a good pair of gloves would be good, but I just don't have any handy right now. Also, we're going to use a scrub brush. And to give you an idea of what we're going to be dealing with, you can see the Cosmoline just packed on here. And this preserves the firearm, especially those that are left in storage for a long time. You'll need to go ahead and break the action down and everything to get that Cosmoline off. And I'll just give you a fair warning, guys. Even once you get it cleaned off and you take it out to shoot it, you're going to get a little bit still there, but again, you can take and clean it off again. So first thing we're going to do is make sure the gun is unloaded. We're going to pop the magazine, and of course it's unloaded. Go ahead and engage your safety. Right back here is a little detent that holds your trigger group in. We're going to take a punch. We're going to see if we can depress it and then pull the trigger group out at the same time. There we go. Then this just comes right out. And this thing is covered. We're going to bring up this lever right here, and then you just pull it straight out. That way you can get the dust cover. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff's covered. We're going to pull out our recoil spring. This is going to need it. Then just pull your bolt back and lift it up from the back. It comes out. I'm going to go ahead and bring out our bayonet. Now I'm going to grab the action in one hand, and then I'm just going to bring the stock down. You want to have something to protect that stock. You don't want to mess it up. There we go. A little crude but effective. Now we're going to start squirting this mineral spirits over the stock. You want to get it good and soaked. What this does, it just breaks down the Cosmoline. It'll make it just slide right off. Now you can leave that on, or you can just start wiping it off, and you can see it comes right off pretty quick. But soaking it in will give it a little more, let it just kind of bleed out. The Cosmoline goes in all the nooks and crannies, so it does take a little bit of cleaning. Classic has some really nice firearms that come through there, and this one is excellent. Of course, I did choose this one and picked it, but wow, that's beautiful. And one thing I'm going to do is to soak this. Of course, I can take my brush, get in here and just wipe it down, get it good, just scrub it. Scrub it, baby. That Cosmoline is going to get down into all those fibers. Some of these parts are going to be easier. We get the dust cover. It's a pretty simple part. Yeah, I highly recommend wearing gloves. It's just too lazy to go get them. And this brush really comes in handy for these more complicated parts. Yeah, this stuff really goes everywhere, and again, it needs to, because I know these guns have been in storage for 50 years, or at least they're at least 50 years old. So you're gonna have a lot of time sitting in a storage, and who knows what kind of ventilation, what kind of humidity. So this really does save these firearms. And definitely on this recoil spring, the brush is gonna be invaluable. One of the most important things is your bolt assembly. With the firing pin in here, you don't want for this to get clogged up, because they will slam fire. That's one of the things about the SKS. So we're just going to take it apart, just pull it back. I'm going to get these really taken care of. I will say that pulling the firing pin out is somewhat of a chore. We'll just see how that goes. find that brushing it first is better than just trying to wipe it all off. This really breaks it down quickly. Definitely make sure that this pin floats right here, and once you get it cleaned up, you might want to put just a touch of lubricant, but not a lot. And of course, you want to get the main body. The barrel assembly is really caked on. Man, this stuff is thick. From what I understand, WD-40 actually works well too. And once you get this scraped, you probably want to go ahead and start wiping it off, because that'll remove a lot of it. And we went ahead and removed our cleaning rod. That helps to keep this clean, and you can get to the underneath of your barrel. These SKSs were really nice. Chicom SKSs, they've been actually stored in Albania for a number of years and then released. Also, we can take off our gas tube. Be careful because there is a spring in there. And that's if we bring it around. There we go, spring's popped out. You want to get all this out. Obviously we want to get down in the barrel, and you can probably do a lot better. Once this is done, you can go through and clean it like you normally would. Obviously when you've got it broken down already, it'll make it easier. This just sprays it right out of the back. Go ahead and pop our piston out. Yeah. This thing wouldn't function very well like that. But it comes right off. Same thing here. We'll make sure we get all that out. You can see it coming out the back. But you'll definitely want to run a patch through the back of this. Definitely go ahead and get this cleaned up really well. Now here we're going to let gravity kind of take care of this. I'm going to spray it again, just let it kind of run off. Then of course we got our parts laid out. Now the Cosmoline does build up in certain areas, so I'm going to take a small dish, pour a little bit of the mineral spirits in the dish. Of course you can use a Q-tip, but we're going to use some of these ramrods. These are Q-tips that are very large, and we can all kind of different sizes. This is pretty cool. A buddy of mine just gave this to me a while back. I'm going to use some of the smaller ones first, especially with this trigger group. There's so many little nooks and crannies in here. Just want to make sure you get that cleaned up. So wherever the Cosmoline's kind of settled. The mineral spirits got a lot of it just spraying it, but there's some areas that it just didn't run off. Definitely down here in these springs. Wow, that's a mess. I may actually spray that a little bit with some mineral spirits. Here inside the bolt charging handle. Gets down in there. Just never know where you're going to find it. Here underneath the charging handle. Wow. Considering Q-tips are so inexpensive, or cotton swabs, I'm just going to use regular ones until we need the larger ones. This is really where those larger ones come in handy. Mineral spirits here. Yeah, yeah, you need to get something down in there. That's crazy. This is somewhere you definitely want to get, because this is where your recoil spring is going to reside. It's going to go right up through there, and you need to really get rid of that. We're just running dry patches there right now to see if how much we've got in there. Yeah, that's getting it out. And while mineral spirits are fine for the surfaces of the metal, and they are petroleum based, you're going to want to put some kind of lubrication on there after you finish anyway. Yeah, good. Okay, we've got most of that out. But while we're at it, we'll go ahead and go through the gas tube. Oh, I can look at there, it even comes out of the ports. Yeah, this is where your gas rod goes. You want to make sure that this is clean. And it'll stop about right here, and then it gets smaller as it goes through. So we'll take a smaller rod and we'll go through this end. And as I'm pushing through, check this out. Look at all that Cosmoline. that's really where these come in handy, because they have that long stem on it. There you go. Yeah, there was so much Cosmoline in this, I didn't even know what to call a cleaning patch. Oh, wow. Yeah, we don't want to pull that back through. We're going to put a cleaning patch on it and bring it back through. Yeah, look at that. We sprayed this pretty good too, so with mineral spirits. We're getting it. This time we're going to use mineral spirits as we go in. I'm going to drip a little bit. That should really help dissolve it. But it looks like we're getting it. The bolt is definitely, again, something you really need to be careful. Make sure you get this clean. You don't want that to block up anything, catch debris, and then lock up your firing pin. This is a free float firing pin like we talked about, so it actually moves, and as long as it's free moving, you're good. Stock looks pretty good, but we're going to get some of these areas, just kind of some detail where some of the Cosmoline's kind of held up. Some of this is just on the surface, and it just seems to embed a little bit. Wiping it down seems to be the best way. Yeah, this little Cosmoline it hides some of our fibers from our cleaning cloth. There's some areas where it's just like a film, and if you find that, then just take the mineral spirits and it should cut that. And we'll just wipe it down, the areas we can get to. Mineral spirits right here in the bayonet area. One place you want to pay special attention to is your action, and a lot of that Cosmoline just settles down in those cracks and crevices. But the mineral spirits will cut it if you put a little bit on those Q-tips. It really kind of dissolves it. Makes it a little easier just to wipe it off once you get it out. Right in here, a lot of Cosmoline. Where your magazine catch is, right here. Also here. I'm just going to get some of this just out. Now we're going to take some of the mineral spirits. Go in here and kind of clean that up. It's definitely a labor of love when it comes to this, but the more Cosmoline you get off, the less trouble you're going to have at the range when you're shooting. But it's going to be really difficult to get it all. One place I've noticed too is right here around the front sight. A lot of Cosmoline just gunking it up. Also the protective globe. Definitely around the chamber. You're going to want to really get inside there, but outside the chamber, there's a lot of Cosmoline seems to gunk up right in that area. Go ahead and put one of these in here and just see what we've got to deal with starting out. Yeah, we got a lot of work. I think we're going to go ahead and put us a cleaning patch through here. See what we get just starting out. That's not too bad, not as bad as I thought. Yeah, it looks like the chamber is going to be fine. We'll run a patch down through the barrel. See what we get. Guys, I was running a rod down through the barrel, and look at this. Make sure you clean that barrel. Right here, through this port. This is where your operating rod's going to be. We'll make sure we get that clean. Go ahead and slide one of the ramrods down through there. Yeah, we're getting a little bit, but looks like it's not as bad as some of the areas. Also make sure you check under the sight. Yeah. Guys, I feel like we've gotten to the point where we've gotten as much as we can get off. There's probably some more still on there, but we've gone through all the little areas. And so we're going to go ahead and just reassemble. And so I'm going to bring the bayonet around. And we're going to put this right here. Best way to do it is get up here at the front. And then just close it in. Lock that down. Okay, we're going to take our rod, put it in the spring, put it right under the sight tower. Right, this little lever needs to be in place to allow for the head of that pin. Then we're going to bring it over like that. And that keeps that's under spring tension. Next, take your gas tube, slide the operating rod inside. We're going to set it at the front. And then make sure that this is set to where this will go down. Now take this lever, bring it down till it gets into this detent. Take your bolt and bolt carrier and it locks in just like this with the face of the bolt just like this. Now we're going to drop this into the channel. And there we go. It's a little tricky at first. Locks right in. Take our recoil spring, slide it up into the bolt. Next, take your dust cover, fit it. Your recoil spring is going to push it out just a little bit, so you push it in, take this lever, just bring it down. This is going to allow you to put in your magazine, make sure it's open. Just like that. Then we take our trigger group, put it in first at the front, bring it back. Here we've got on this wood surface. I'm going to take and push down and push on the back. There it goes. Snaps this right here. Check your magazine to make sure that it is in place. Sometimes it feels like it, but it's not. And when you put this in, the whole magazine, box magazine, will come out. Bad, is it?
No.
Pretty smooth.
It is.
All right, guys, we've been shooting quite a bit. You can see a little bit of the Cosmoline coming through around the action, but on the wood, it's really clean. Those mineral spirits seem to work very well. I was expecting a little bit of this coming back out, and we're definitely getting it, but this will be easy to clean up. So I'm very pleased. Now, after cleaning with the mineral spirits, the rifle came out really nice. There was a little bit of seepage right here around this area and some right here, back here. But otherwise, we didn't have any kind of issues with Cosmoline. We wiped those down, and as you shoot it and as you do more, taking it out to the range, that Cosmoline will start to dissipate. And so the mineral spirits are a great solution to getting rid of that Cosmoline. And so again, I want to thank Classic Firearms for hosting us up there at the crate opening, and also for providing this rifle for the test and evaluation and showing you a little bit about the history of these great rifles. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. Also, we're going to use a good scrub brush. Make sure that this lever is in the... We got, we got right here.
Yep.
We got right here, here, and here.
Thanks, Cliff.
Now we're going to take our operating rod,